Welcome back to the studio, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Krizbeatz, the drummer boy, and today I want to show you how I mix the major elements in my drums. This is not to walk you through the full mix, but this is just to show you one or two things that you will see me do that you can also apply in your own case. Remember, all mixes are not the same, but you can use something definitely from this to help you improve yours. And most of these things, as I'm creating the beats, I'm doing them, and like I said, I will move it out of my beat session into a mix session. But yeah, with that said, let's get straight into the video. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, remember the Krizbeatz Music Academy is on right now, and you can click to join either the advanced, intermediate, or the beginner class, where we walk you through everything that you need to know in music production and how you can also monetize your talent as a producer or as a musician. So we also have extra courses that we offer, which is the ability for you to learn just mixing and without going through the full class, or just recording without going through the full class. And either one you are doing, you also get one-on-one live feedback session with me every weekend if your class is having that. And with that out of the way, you can always check out your mix based on how you create the instrumental. So when I'm trying to create instrumental, I don't like to think of what my mix will sound like. I like to think of how best I can create the instrumental to sound as best as possible, as best as I want it to sound. So I'm not concerning myself about, oh, how do this frequency. No, none of that. Not one beat. It never crosses my mind. I do the beat like someone else will have to deal with that headache. I just work on how I want the music to sound, everything. The same thing when I'm recording. I record like I don't know who is going to arrange it, but I try to get it as best. If I can get it to sound best in my place, then any engineer with enough sense should be able to, if I slap you, this is that mosquito or what? Any engineer that should be any engineer with the enough sense should be able to get it to the place where I or the musicians or anybody intended to get it into. So yes, we'll be looking at first the kick. So let's look at the major thing that makes an Afrobeat record: the kick, the snare, the bass. You know, when I mean the snare, I'm talking about the percussions and everything. So let's just walk through what I did in this case. So let's listen to what the beat sounds like.
Pay me the money, I beg you, pay me the money. Pay me the money, I beg you, pay me the money. Pay me the money, I beg you, pay me the money. I beg you, pay me the money. I beg you, pay me the money.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can hear that is a normal Afrobeat bounce with aggressive bass. That is this, mind you, this is not mastered. When we're going into mastering is where we'll get that craziness out of this. So let's see what I have going on. First is the kick. So the kick. So the way I like to process my drum is I have a drum boss, and all the boss, the drum will now go into an all instrumental boss, which is a boss in a boss. So you have the all drum box, all music boss, all percussion boss, go into drum boss. Okay, you can see here drum boss all. Then I have instrumental boss. So this is kick. Here, let's see what I have on the kick. Remember, gain staging is the most important thing in mix. That is how you deal with your internal bleeding. I always say this bleeding because that's how we taught gain staging to our students at Krizbeatz Music Academy. Is internal bleeding, when something is bleeding inside and you see the person and the person is fine. You don't know until it starts showing on the vein that, oh, this person is actually, until it starts showing on the skin with the redness on the skin. So that is how we kind of like broke it down, and we did the experiment. It was fun, to be honest, for the people doing the one-on-one live feedback class. I'm sure you were able to get it because it's like you were with me in the studio. So yes, the kick, I first added an utility gain, taking down a right amount of gain reduction. You know, that before going into, if I turn it off, you'll be able to hear how you get, You see the way it's overworking the compressor. Then next, I have an EQ that is just taking out few things here and there. Taking out this guy here. And then this guy here. Just some resonant frequency. Nothing too major. Maybe -1 there, everywhere, -1. Subtle differences that can make a large difference. Let me turn it off. Let me turn everything off. Let me show you where we're going to. Yeah, you can see not a massive boost of EQ. You see that it brings out everything, every other element, the body, the low, the ones that we can't really hear. You know, the tail part, it brings it out more, while also taming the transient. Then this. I can, yes, sounds good. Then into 1176. Yes, this is allowing it to sound more like a kick that is not so boomy, you know, keeping it compact. Then the UAD Potec. Just to boost a little bit of that low end that we took out. A little bit. Then one of my favorite plugins to use on a kick is this drum shaper by XNL. Also removing that initial transient, because when you're trying to get the track to be as loud as possible, all these transients will add to what will affect. You can already see by looking at this with your eye, we're already hitting almost the zero, so which is what this did for us in the first place. I could have come here and also do it by bringing it down like this, you know, but yeah, I just like to do it this way sometimes, so I don't start walking or mixing by what I can see. You know, and we're also using soft clipping. So soft clipping allows us to be able to get a perceived loudness without passing a particular dB like in the meter. So we get it loud without getting it loud in the meter. I think that's pretty much everything I did on the channel. Remember, in the last video I told you I like to treat everything like a channel. On a proper mixer, you have EQ, you have your gain, your pre's, your EQ, your compressor, and then your sends, and anything, anywhere you want to send sound into. You can now group that into a bus mix where you can process it where you can process all the drums as a group. That's how I'm also processing it here. I'm doing it one by one and then sending them into a group where I can add all the elements together. So next I have a snare that I did almost the same thing too. You get, but this one we're going from EQ. You get, yeah, let me mute the kick so that we hear this properly. Yeah, taking out some disturbing frequencies. So little. Yeah, that one. You can barely, is almost you almost not notice it, but every little details that we're adding will make up the full chunk of the track. Not as a major thing, but to, collectively they will all add up to the groove of the thing. You get, then we'll come to the percussion stage. So this percussion, I treated most of them, apart from the ones that needs special attention. I treated most of them as a group, you know. So individually I get, so the shaker, yeah, yes, and then this one I added, yes. So I went in to treat individually this one, but these things are the things that will probably bury in the mix. I just wanted them to be able to see it properly without affecting any other thing. See, without weight. You get, even though the EQ looks like we're going to war, it is not. It is not the same as what it sounds like. I was just working based on what I can see and hear. So and then it goes into a bus. So the bus is where I really did most of the heavy lifting and the work. So let's play it from the bus. Let me turn it off. You see, not so much jump. That is why your mixes are not sounding good, because you want things to add heavy jump. I'm not looking at getting jump where something is so different from where I'm coming from. And then again, when you're mixing, you should have a reference track, either the reference track that the artist has been listening to from time to time, or the reference track that they provided you with, so that you can always check and balance things. In this case, I have the reference track down here, and I'm always listening to see where I am and where.
Pay me the money, I beg you, pay me the money.
You see, I just added something to make this a little louder, so that on YouTube you'll be able to hear it. If not, it's going to be quieter than this. Yes, so the percussions, we did that. Let's add all the things back. So you get not a massive jump, just bring everything to the front a little bit. So let's play it with the snare and kick. Yes, so the next thing I will talk about before, because I don't want this video to be too long, I'll go over the things one by one in another video. We come to the bass aspect of this. So I always like to use a Pultec style compressor on my, I say Pultec, a Fairchild style compressor on my bass, because the bass will sound saturated and also fuller, aggressive, if you know what I mean. So listen to this. Remember what we spoke about in the videos of okay, no, not here. It was in the Krizbeatz Music Academy class that we spoke about that. So I added this Fairchild style compressor from Wave. This one is called Percussions 670. And then I added this, also taking out some frequency that I feel like might be problem in the future. Like I can see this, I could not hear, but this I could see. I can see something pointing like he's going to the heaven there. So for the lack of a better thing, a better reason, I took that out, because I don't want to hear stories. If I turn it off, you see just a little fatter. Yeah, like almost like it's introducing more harmonics. I like that. And then I took some out with this, with the EQ, and then sending it to a bass boss that has Saturn 2 in there, where I'm adding enough saturation to get that grittiness out of it. And then another bass I have, the mid bass, is doing. And then again, another thing to mention is that the producer of this, me, already did sidechain. So the bass is already sidechained to the kick. So in this case, I don't need to, or I'll now add another sidechain except if he needs it. Like I said, when you're trying to mix a song that you produced by yourself, bounce it out and import it into a new session. You should not mix it directly from the place where you make the beat. I mean, you can bounce it out and also import it back into a new session, so you have a clean template to start working with and you are not tempted to change things. That is exactly how to mix if you are mixing a song that you produce or you have an influence to. For someone like me who likes to play things, I can have a billion things that will add sweetness to a particular record. and it might not be what the artist wants, except if they need it, except if you have to change some things around. That is when you should do it. So with everything that we have, the kick, the bass, the snare, we have something like this. With the other bass. Okay, let's just add this for sweetness. And that is where we will be stopping for this episode. And in the next episode, I will take you through mixing the other things and how I approach them to make them sound like a full song. With this knowledge, you can use it to approach the same way you do your mix. I don't have to tell you I'm getting this amount of reduction, I'm getting this amount of this thing, I'm taking out this. No, that is not what I aim to do. What I aim to do is to show you my process and what I'm doing and why. And then you can use that and make informative decisions on your own. And I hope you found this video helpful. Like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, and I will catch you in the next class.
Pay me the money, I beg you, pay me the money. Pay me the money, I beg you, pay me the money. Pay me the money, I beg you, pay me the money, I beg you.